In this video, we are going to talk about what? Do you know what we are going to talk about? Can you tell me what is this? Pause the video and think about it. Okay, what did you say? Did you say muscle? Yes, if you said muscle, you are right. This is a structure of muscle cells, and it is under the title of movement that we are going to talk about cardiac muscles in blood circulation. What is the role of muscle cells in moving blood through the heart? What do you think? Okay, let's see. This is a picture of the muscle, cardiac muscle, and this is a micrograph of heart, cardiac muscle cells. As you can see, cardiac muscle cells are unique to the heart. To contrast and exert force on blood inside the heart chambers. So their function is they are forcing blood into the different chambers of the heart. I think now you know what are the chambers of the heart. Within the chambers that you know, the names are atria, which is a plural form of atrium. With the coordinated contraction of these muscle cells, it causes the volume decrease and push the blood into the ventricle. The coordinated contraction muscle cells in the wall of the ventricles decreases the volume of these chambers. This causes the movement of blood, including blood cells, around the body. So with the movement of the muscles between the within your heart, using your muscle cells, which is called cardiac muscle cells, the blood can pump out from your heart and goes to different parts of the body. Not only it pumps to the body, but also the cardiac muscle cells, even from atrium, coming from atrium to the ventricle, also they have important and they have a role for all these movements of the blood and the circulation. What ensures that cardiac muscle pumps blood into the right direction? What do you think? With each heartbeat, blood enters the arteries under high pressure, and this causes the artery walls to be stretched, and the elastic fibers in the artery wall then return the artery to its original diameter. With this expansion and contraction of arteries, it can be detected in the wrist and in the neck by holding fingers over the artery and feeling the pulse. I know that most of you have experienced, and even now, if you check your wrist and keep your wrist with one of your with the left hand, if you are right-handed with the left hand, or if you are left-handed with the right hand, you can feel the pulse. What is really this pulse? Yes, this pulse is actually the function of the muscle, cardiac muscles, which pumps the blood out of the heart, and you can feel that each pumping will cause one pulse, which you can feel by keeping one of your hand over your wrist. Blood propelled by the next heartbeat continues to push blood along the circulatory system so that blood flows in one direction. Can you pause the video and think and answer this question right now? Why the pump, why the blood is going into only one direction. Yes, if you look back in what you have seen in the text, then you will notice that because the blood is pumped through the heart, and those muscles, every time they are pumping blood, and then there's no way that the blood can go back or go with two directions. There's only one direction because of the function of the cardiac muscles, which they are pumping the blood from the heart to outside to reach the body, and then the circulation goes after the lungs and pulmonary system, again goes back to your heart. So there is always one direction. After the exchange of materials in capillaries, blood collects in veins. Veins have valves that prevent the backward flow of blood. They also depend on the contraction of skeletal muscles to increase pressure on. And the veins which returns the blood back to the heart. I think you already know about the veins and arteries, and you know that arteries are taking blood away from the heart and veins toward the heart. So once the blood goes to the body and in the way back to the heart, then that would be the function of the veins, that they have the valves. Pause the video and think about what is the function of the valves in the veins, that we don't see this in the artery the same way that we see it in the vein. Yes, you're right. Valves are present in veins, and the reason is, you see valve, V, vein, V, they are present in veins, and the reason is because they are preventing the blood backward. They are preventing the blood going back. So there is always one direction. And can you tell me why, if there are not valves, if the valves are not present, why do you think this sentence, this meaning or this explanation is important if you don't have a valve? Yes, the reason that the presence of valves are very important is because veins are taking blood from the body part, goes back to the heart. This means that the amount of the pressure after the blood comes back to the heart is much less than the pressure when they get pumped from the heart. So the low pressure, it makes the possibility, or because the pressure is not high, it is possible that the blood backward flow. It has a backward flow. It means go back. But the presence of the valves are the reason that the blood cannot go back. It doesn't allow the blood go back. Here is the structure or the light micrograph of a section through tissue containing two structures. If you look at these two structures, you can see one of them, which is in the left bottom, and the other one is the top right. The top right has more wide, and it has the wall inside is a little thinner than here. So this structure is a little thicker in terms of walls, but this structure has less thick, or it's thinner than this one. This is the one that you can see in the bottom left, it is artery. Why it is artery? Because the artery is the place that blood will be pumped through the heart, and artery is taking away blood, and it is just adjacent, just close and very near to the heart, and it has to have a thick wall in order to resist against the highly pressure of the blood which is coming out from the heart. So because of this, this artery should be thick and thicker and very much more resistant to the blood pressure than vein, which has a thinner wall, and the blood is not having the pressure the same as the pressure in the artery. So within the wall of the artery and the vein is a layer of smooth muscle and elastic fibers. These smooth muscle and elastic fibers which with a purple color, and a layer of connective tissue which is light brown. Layer of connective tissue which are light brown, and this is blood. Arteries can carry blood away from the heart, while veins carry blood back to the heart. This is what I already explained. How do skeletal muscles affect movement? Movement such as running is achieved by extending and flexing limbs in a voluntary fashion. Voluntary muscles work in conjunction with the skeletal system to make the body move. And a skeletal muscle consists of elongated structures called muscle fibers. So we are going to see about the skeletal muscles and the movement of the skeletal muscles. This is a structure of the muscle. A muscle, this is in total, this is a skeletal muscle, and each muscle fiber contains many parallel structures which is called myofibril. So you can see the myofibril over here, and each myofibril consists of a series of separate contractile unit which is called sarcomere. So we have sarcomere, we have myofibril, and then the collection of these myofibril make a single muscle fiber. So we can see from small to the big, starting from one sarcomere, and which is the structure inside the myofibril. So the collection of the myofibril make one single muscle fiber, and the collection of muscle fibers make this the bundle of muscle fibers, and these bundle of muscle fibers make this complete skeletal muscle. It is the combined action of millions of sarcomere with the muscle that causes the muscle as a whole to contract with great force. We are not talking about how these sarcomeres are the reason for making the muscle movement, but these are the responsible, and these are in charge, and these are the reasons by the specific movement that causes the muscle movement. How biceps and triceps work together.